Hi there, my name is Sarah Andersen and I'm the author of a webcomic called Sarah Scribbles. I'm also the author of a webcomic called FANGS, which will be released in print form on September 1st. I started writing comics when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was just kind of drawing them in the margins of my notebooks and stuff because I wanted to make my friends laugh. I was actually also working in a style that's very similar to Sarah Scribbles is today. FANGS is a love story between a vampire and a werewolf, and it was written in a 6-month period where I was on hiatus from Sarah Scribbles because I was doing the illustrations for a graphic novel called Cheshire Crossing. And I had all of this untapped creative writing energy, and I was just kind of writing little things in my notebook, and I came across this idea of a vampire and a werewolf are sitting at a bar, and it was very cutesy and slapstick, but there was something about it that was really exciting to me. My favorite part of writing FANGS, I think, was the space and privacy I had around the writing process. So with Sarah Scribbles, I write something and then I upload it immediately and I see everybody's reaction, but I wrote FANGS in its entirety without ever seeing a response from someone else, and I think that kind of took some pressure off and allowed me to work in a style that was a bit edgier and a bit more macabre, and that really made the writing flow for me and was very exciting. I was writing the characters. That kind of thesis for FANGS was very important to me. So for example, Jimmy's empathy and patience is really important in allowing the characters to feel like they can be themselves around each other. And on the flip side, you have Elsie's kind of intense self-confidence and self-acceptance, and I really tried to emphasize those qualities because it was what made the thesis work. I can be a bit like Elsie, so my day-to-day work routine starts pretty late, so I'm still a bit nocturnal, and I wake up around 10 and 11 and I go to bed around 2 or 3, and then I kind of ebb and flow. So I will work on and off, and I tend not to work strict 8-hour days, but I do tend to work every day, including the weekends, and I'm very privileged to live the life of a freelancer and be able to work from home, and setting my own hours has been an incredibly lucky thing for me. Creating comics and writing, I'm a big believer in starting messy. So my sketchbooks and my notebooks are very sloppy, and I tend to write just with stick figures, and I'll even go in with scissors and like cut and paste panels. And being that sloppy at the beginning is really a way for me to leave my perfectionism at the door and let just very pure ideas flow. I feel like there's something about comics that allows you to express a very complicated or intense emotion or idea in a very simple format, and I personally just love that I can use that tool to connect with and communicate with people. So my advice to aspiring creators, creators tend to be very perfectionist about their work, and while that can be a good thing, it can also be a bit self-sabotaging. So a lot of artists will sometimes not start or not even post until they feel like they have something perfect. For me, a way to get over that was to put myself on a schedule. So I sort of had to make peace with the idea that something had to get posted even if I didn't feel it was perfect, and that kind of kept me in a creating mode. Another piece of advice I like to give is that I think it's important that everyone pays attention not just to what's happening on the canvas, but also what's happening outside the canvas. So I think setting intentions with your work is very important, and knowing what you want to bring into the world is very important. So I really like to tell artists to look at a lot of work and really develop your style and develop your taste. The last piece of advice that I like to give is that you are not just an artist, you are also a person. So it's very important to be well and take care of yourself, both mentally and physically. Great work tends to come from artists who are taking care of themselves as opposed to artists who are stressed and depressed. So overall, I think just making sure that you are well is an exceedingly important thing in the creation process. So take care of yourself. And before we go, I just want to talk about the book version of FANGS very quickly. So it will be out on September 1st, and I'm really excited about the packaging. So we modeled the cover design off of this idea that we wanted it to look like a vintage satanic Bible. So it's got a cloth cover, and then all of the black is engraved. Then we've got black tinted page edges, and the interior pages are actually matte, and that kind of is to feed into the idea that we wanted it to look a little bit vintage. So I think it looks really cool sitting on a shelf or even a desk or something, and I'm really excited about the packaging. So I do hope you pick up a copy, and if not, FANGS is exclusively available online only on Tapas, so you can check it out there. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.